Well, a new week of flood recovery is underway in South Carolina. The WIS News team is following the very latest, including how victims can get assistance.
Yeah, well, plus we have the latest on city and state efforts to assess and repair the damage.
Let's check in with Judy.
They don't get up till. Yeah, look at my nails.
I ain't got no more.
Hi, everybody. I am out in the Pine Glen neighborhood, and I can tell you here in Pine Glen, the pictures that we've been showing on TV just don't do it justice. When you drive through this neighborhood, you see people's lives just out on the street. I mean, it is difficult, honestly, to take it in. I just talked with Marcia Davison. You were one of the first people I talked to, Miss Marcia, when I drove up.
Right.
You told me you have lived here for 40 years.
We've lived here for 40 years in the same home, and all our belongings are now out on the street. It's very difficult, but we're very blessed. We've had wonderful volunteers. We've had just angels coming through, doing the labor, carrying trash, carrying furniture, just bringing food and anything that we need done. They have just been wonderful.
And I know after 40 years, you've never had any kind of issue with floods, so you recently dropped your flood insurance.
Right. We dropped our flood insurance when we paid our house off several years ago because we never needed the flood insurance. And so we thought, well, we'll just go ahead and cancel it, and of course now, hindsight's 20/20, but it's pretty rough.
You have already been in contact with FEMA. How was that experience for you?
It was good, and we're very, very, very thankful for what they gave us, but it won't even touch what's got to be done in our home. The money they allowed is to replace the belongings, the walls, the bathrooms. Like I said, we're very thankful for what they did give us, but it won't touch what needs to be done in our home.
And I know your son lives right next door, so you guys are all teaming up together to try and clear this out.
Yes.
And your job, you work with SCfloods. They've been very understanding.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not going to call the name of his company, but I'll just point out that some private businesses are not giving their employees time to deal with this. So he's going to be looking for a new job because he has to be here right now.
Yes. And I mean, it's disheartening to think that a company would not allow people to take care of the disaster that we have out here. And he's stressed and he's heartbroken, and my employer, they have been wonderful. They just been awesome.
Yeah.
Just awesome.
Well, let me give you a hug, Miss Marcia. I know it is so difficult, but we're going to get through this together. It is going to be okay. I just love the spirit between you and your neighbors. I want to introduce Jennifer. Is it Nizer, Jennifer?
Yes.
Tell me your story.
We've lived here for 9 years now. Like Marcia, I have all of my life, my children's kindergarten work, everything's on the street. It's hard. It's really hard to know what to do next. You reach out to people. We've had wonderful volunteers, like Marcia said, who've done a great job, coming out, helping you clean up. But it's those putting the pieces back together that you don't know where to start. You don't know what to do. You don't know who you can trust. We've already had, somebody out here trying to hustle, and you reach out to contractors and they ain't taking nobody, and you just don't know. You don't know how you're going to put it all back together.
Yeah.
And, for me, my kids are now with their dad, so I don't even get to see my boys anymore on a regular basis. And, I'm thankful that he's taking care of them, but
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Well, that's why we're here tonight, because we came to see what we can do to help. And, between our live shots, we're going to be talking with you guys to see what it is you still need. Katie, you have talked about how you and your neighbors are pulling together through this. I mean, you have such a great attitude about it, but I bet you've never faced a challenge like this in your life.
No, not at all. But you're right. We are pulling together. We know neighbors now that we only saw, when we passed by and waved. But now we're bonded together and we know their names, and we're in this thing together. But, I've been in this house for 25 years. Never seen anything like it. My house is right over there, and my entire front yard is cluttered with the contents of the house. Wow. The structure of the house is on the lawn, as well as my back fence. It pushed over my back fence as well. So, but I have to say that my faith in God is so strong. I know that He never allows us to go through hard times without bringing us to a better place on the other side.
Absolutely.
And that's the message that I encourage my neighbors with, and I keep in my heart as well. But I have to say that these volunteers, I've met people from Texas, I've met people from New York, from Tennessee, Alabama, North Carolina. All of America is in Columbia, and Jesus is on in Pine Glen subdivision.
All right now. I hear a sermon coming. She about to preach. Katie. Got to give you a hug too. Sam Fan, I saw you out in the yard working when I pulled in, and guys, I know we're probably running long, but these stories have to be told. I mean, these people's lives have been changed forever. Sam, what's your story?
Like we've been here about 18 years, and we thought, chances of flood is basically impossible. So I was just about to cancel my flood insurance. So thank God I didn't.
Right.
And it's a blessing of the outpouring of the community and all the people's help, support. The American Red Cross and volunteers came in and helped in the house and everything, to take up the carpet, do the walls. So it was just a blessing.
It is a blessing indeed. I tell you what, it is so amazing to see how neighbors are coming together. And Katie, you made me think about something that my mother and my grandmother used to say, is that God doesn't promise that we won't have storms in our life, but He does promise to see us through them. And so I think that is what you all are experiencing here today. We are going to have much more from this Pine Glen neighborhood. We'll tell you about the needs in this community and other areas all over the Midlands. I know that so many of you want to help, but we want to make sure that the help that's coming in is what these families need. And it's a different situation for every family. So we're going to share as many stories as we can. We will have more Dondi and Charles coming up throughout the evening right here on WIS News 10.